me now. You know, when you look at the breakdown, this seems politically divided. I mean, 92% of Republicans who were polled said that parents should be notified if their kids are going through gender identity issues. 81% of independents said yes, same thing. 61 of Democrats, still more than half. But look at the difference in those numbers.
Well, they're trying to pass a bill that's saying that children as young as 12 years old should be able to check themselves into residential mental health programs without parental consent. This makes absolutely no sense because, as we know, you can't even go see a PG-13 movie without parental consent. You can't even go on a field trip in a classroom without parental consent. None of this really makes sense.
That is so like cobalt blue jersey. You have to sign a release for them to go to a public library that isn't on a little bit cancel culture, but they really fear it for their children who then have to go into that classroom situation, you know, carrying the
the head of the American Library Association, and she's trying to centralize learning on queer notions. I'm not even sure what that really even means, but that's not what libraries should be based upon. And it's just sad that now children are subjected to this, and they're being brainwashed, they're being indoctrinated, everyone realizes it, and that's just another tactic that this woman is also using, the woman that you referred to as the Marxist librarian.
Right, we'll get to that.
Well, first of all, to call people that would put up any type of fight or push back against your idea of what you want to turn libraries into, an angry white mob. I can't imagine anyone besides this woman saying this and not being fired immediately. I mean, that's complete racism.
That's a good point.
And I think that because she identifies as queer, she's given a hall pass. And that's the same thing we're seeing with so many different people in this community on so many different levels and so many different aspects. And it's really sad. But again, like I said, this is the tactic that the left uses. They use these terms, angry, white mob, for example, to instill hate and fear into people where then they don't want to speak up, because the last thing you want is to be the one to push back against this lady's demonic idea of learning and to be labeled angry and, you know, a party
on the left to finally explain what they mean by calling everything racist. You actually saw a legitimate example of what racism looks like. You called it out, I'm calling it out.
Yeah.
That's what that was. But it's bigger than that, because again, a library is a place of learning. The rest of the country.
And I love that phrase so much. I feel like that's going to become like one of those staple terms, tyranny of the minority. But I mean, you're right. A library is somewhere you should go to learn about all different things. The centralized portion of it should not be on queer notions.
Always great to have you in focus.